All right, let's go. Number 10, the cosmic web. For centuries, humanity looked up at the night sky and envisioned a universe that was essentially a random scattering of galaxies, drifting aimlessly through an infinite void. We thought of our Milky Way as an isolated island, floating in a disconnected sea of cosmic emptiness. We were fundamentally, disturbingly wrong. When astronomers finally developed the technology to map the large-scale structure of the observable universe, what they discovered didn't look like a random distribution of celestial bodies. It looked biological. It is called the cosmic web, and it represents the largest known structure in existence. Galaxies do not float randomly. They are clustered together into superclusters, which are in turn connected by unimaginably massive filaments of dark matter and hydrogen gas. These glowing threads stretch across billions of light years, branching and intersecting at massive nodes where thousands of galaxies congregate. Between these glowing filaments lie the void's desolate expanses of absolute nothingness, hundreds of millions of light years across, where virtually no matter exists at all. What makes the cosmic web deeply unsettling is the paradigm shift it forces upon human consciousness. We are not an independent island. The Milky Way, along with over 100,000 other galaxies, is merely a microscopic component of a single, localized branch called the Laniakea supercluster. When you look at the map of the cosmic web, the resemblance to a human neural network or the microscopic structure of a sponge is impossible to ignore. It suggests an organization and a structural hierarchy that dwarfs our entire galaxy to the equivalent of a single dewdrop caught on an infinitely vast spider's web. The realization is humbling and terrifying. The universe functions as a colossal, silent scaffold, and our entire civilization, our entire history, and our entire world exist on a single, insignificant microscopic fiber of a structure too massive for the human mind to properly comprehend. Number 9. Intergalactic gas rivers. We have been conditioned to believe that the space between galaxies is entirely empty, a true, sterile vacuum devoid of anything but wandering photons and the occasional rogue particle. But modern astrophysics has revealed a hidden dynamic that changes how we view the life cycle of the cosmos. The dark space between the glowing islands of stars is actually flowing with invisible, freezing currents. These are the intergalactic gas rivers, and they are the cosmic lifeblood that keeps the universe alive. Galaxies like our Milky Way are constantly forming new stars, a process that consumes millions of solar masses of gas over cosmic timescales. For decades, astronomers were baffled by a simple mathematical problem. Galaxies were forming stars far faster than their internal gas reserves should allow. They should have burned out and died billions of years ago. The answer to this paradox was found in faint, almost undetectable streams of cold hydrogen gas that flow from the deep voids of the cosmic web directly into the galactic halos. These are literal rivers flowing through the void, streams of primordial matter hundreds of thousands of light years long, plunging into the gravitational wells of galaxies. They bypass the hot, explosive boundaries of the galactic halos and penetrate deep into the galactic disks, continuously feeding the star-forming factories within. What makes this unsettling is the realization that galaxies are not closed systems. They are living, breathing entities connected to an invisible, cosmic circulatory system. The dark space surrounding us isn't empty. It is rushing with silent, invisible currents moving at hundreds of kilometers per second. We exist inside a highly active, flowing environment where the raw materials of creation are pumped across the dark void on a scale that renders human concepts of distance and speed entirely meaningless. Number 8. Population 3. Stars. Every atom of carbon in your cells, every atom of oxygen you breathe, and every atom of iron in your blood was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star. But where did those elements come from before the first stars existed? Immediately following the Big Bang, the universe was a pristine, empty fog of pure hydrogen, helium, and a trace amount of lithium. There were no heavy elements, no rock, no metal, no planets, and certainly no life. Then came the population 3 stars. These were the first stars to ever ignite in the cosmic dark, born roughly 100 million years after the universe began. Because they lacked any heavy elements to help cool their collapsing gas clouds, These primordial stars grew to monstrous, incomprehensible proportions. Theoretical models suggest they were hundreds, perhaps even 1,000 times more massive than our Sun. They burned with a ferocious, blinding blue-white intensity, living fast and dying incredibly violently. A star that massive exhausts its nuclear fuel in merely a few million years before detonating in hypernovae explosions so powerful they dwarf standard supernovae, ripping the star apart entirely and scattering the very first heavy elements into the pristine void. The unsettling truth about population 3 stars is that they are the ghosts of the cosmos. Despite their critical importance as the violent ancestors that seeded the universe with the building blocks of reality, we have never definitively seen one. They all died over 13 billion years ago. The James Webb Space Telescope is currently peering back to the very edge of observable time, desperately hunting for the fading, red-shifted light of these ancient titans. They represent a cosmic paradox. The most important generation of stars in existence, the literal creators of the solid matter we stand upon, erased themselves from the universe in order to give us life. We are built from the ash of monsters we can never touch. Number 7. Lost galaxies. When we map the night sky, we assume we are seeing a complete picture of our cosmic neighborhood. We trust our telescopes to reveal the grand architecture of the universe around us. But astronomy harbors a dark secret. Our map is fundamentally incomplete, blinded by the very home we inhabit. First, there is the zone of avoidance. Our Milky Way is a flat, disc-shaped galaxy filled with dense clouds of dust, gas, and billions of stars. When we try to look out into the broader universe along the plane of our own galaxy, this dense material acts like a cosmic brick wall. Approximately 20% of the entire extragalactic sky is completely obscured from our view. What lies behind that wall? Radio and infrared astronomy have revealed massive structures hiding in the shadows, including the Norma cluster and the Great Attractor, an anomaly with the mass of tens of thousands of galaxies that is dragging our entire local region of space toward it. Entire empires of stars, planets, and potential civilizations are hiding in plain sight, obscured perfectly by our own galactic core. But the lost galaxies don't just hide behind dust, they hide in their own composition. In recent years, astronomers have discovered ultra-diffuse galaxies, UDGs, like Dragonfly 44. These are galaxies as large as the Milky Way, but containing almost no stars. They are massive ghosts, stretched so thin and emitting so little light that they have remained invisible to our surveys for decades. They are held together almost entirely by dark matter. The realization that there are massive, galaxy-sized structures lingering silently in the dark right next to us, totally invisible to our standard visual observations, forces a humbling realization. The universe is teeming with colossal forms that simply refuse to shine, proving that what we see in the cosmos is only a fraction of what is actually there. Number 6. Hidden black holes. Black holes are the universe's ultimate apex predators. We generally find them in two comfortable, predictable places, anchored at the centers of galaxies as supermassive titans, or safely orbiting companion stars in binary systems as stellar mass remnants. Because they are tied to massive gravitational systems, we know where they are, or so we thought. Astrophysicists have confirmed a terrifying reality. The universe is littered with rogue, wandering black holes that have been violently expelled from their homes and are now drifting blindly through the interstellar void. These expulsions happen during massive cosmic collisions. When two galaxies merge, their central supermassive black holes eventually spiral inward and collide. This impact unleashes gravitational waves of unimaginable power. If the collision is asymmetrical, the resulting wave can act as a cosmic slingshot, delivering a natal kick powerful enough to eject the newly merged supermassive black hole completely out of the host galaxy, sending an object containing the mass of 1 billion suns hurtling into intergalactic space at millions of miles per hour. On a smaller scale, when a massive star goes supernova in an asymmetric explosion, the resulting stellar mass black hole can be shot out of its star cluster like a cannonball. Astronomers estimate there could be anywhere from 10 million to 100 million of these rogue black holes wandering silently through the Milky Way right now. They emit no light. They have no companion stars to betray their location. They are completely invisible, traveling at staggering speeds. We only detect them when they happen to pass directly in front of a background star, briefly magnifying its light through gravitational microlensing. The dark spaces between the stars are not empty. They are prowled by millions of invisible gravitational wells, wandering without a leash, capable of swallowing solar systems whole with absolutely zero warning. Number 5. Neutrino ocean. Every second of every day, an invisible, untouchable ocean flows directly through you. You cannot feel it, you cannot see it, and no instrument you can carry will ever register its passage. Yet it is the densest, most ancient sea of particles in the universe. This is the cosmic neutrino background. Exactly 1 second after the Big Bang, the universe was a hyper-dense, unimaginably hot soup of fundamental particles. As the cosmos rapidly expanded and cooled, neutrinos, ghostly particles with almost zero mass and no electrical charge, decoupled from normal matter. They stopped interacting with the universe and began to stream freely through the expanding void. Today, 13.8 billion years later, those exact same particles are still traveling. They form a background radiation that permeates every inch of reality. There are approximately 330 of these ancient neutrinos in every single cubic centimeter of the universe. Right now, trillions of these primordial ghosts are passing through your body. They stream through the ceiling of your room, through your skull, down through the Earth's crust, straight through the molten iron core of the planet, and out the other side into deep space without slowing down or hitting a single atom. What makes the neutrino ocean deeply unsettling is the profound physical isolation it represents. We are constantly intimately connected to the exact moment of cosmic creation. The relics of the universe's first second are physically washing over us in an endless tide. Yet, because they interact with normal matter only through the weak nuclear force and gravity, they are utterly indifferent to our existence. We are entirely transparent to the universe's oldest relics, existing in the same space but separated by the fundamental laws of physics. Number 4. Primordial gas clouds. In a universe that is 13.8 billion years old, purity is supposed to be impossible. Billions of years of stellar life cycles, stars igniting, burning, and exploding in supernovae have thoroughly polluted the cosmos with heavy elements. Carbon, oxygen, iron, silicon. These elements have been mixed into the intergalactic medium over eons. Finding a patch of the universe that hasn't been touched by stellar death should be as impossible as finding a drop of pure water in an ocean of ink. Yet, deep in the darkest corners of the cosmos, astronomers have found something that defies the modern universe: primordial gas clouds. By studying the light from distant quasars as it pieces through the deep cosmic web, researchers have detected isolated pockets of gas, such as the cloud known as LLS 1723, that contain absolutely no heavy elements whatsoever. They are composed entirely of pristine hydrogen and helium, the exact chemical signature of the universe mere minutes after the Big Bang. The existence of these clouds is a temporal paradox. For nearly 14 billion years, as galaxies spun, merged, and exploded all around them, these isolated patches of gas remained utterly undisturbed. No star ever ignited within them. No supernova ever polluted them. They are perfect frozen time capsules of the dawn of time, drifting in the dark. The realization that these pristine clouds exist forces us to confront the uneven, chaotic nature of the universe. While our corner of the cosmos is chaotic, violent, and heavily evolved, there are vast regions of absolute stillness where time, from a chemical perspective, simply stopped. They sit in the dark, pristine, and perfectly dead, untouched by the billions of years of cosmic history that raged around them. Number 3. Ancient quasars. If you look far enough out into the universe, you are looking back in time. When astronomers point our most powerful telescopes at the early universe, just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, they expect to find an infant cosmos. They expect to see small, newly forming galaxies and the very first modest black holes beginning to slowly gather mass. That is what our models of physics demand. Black holes can only feed so fast. The radiation pressure from the matter falling into them pushes other matter away, creating a strict speed limit for growth, known as the Eddington limit. But the early universe didn't follow our rules. Astronomers have discovered ancient quasars, supermassive black holes, actively feeding and blazing with the light of trillions of stars existing when the universe was only 600 to 700 million years old. An object like J03131806 possesses a black hole over 1.6 billion times the mass of our Sun, existing at a time when the universe was less than 5% of its current age. This shouldn't be possible. Even if a black hole formed from the very first stars and fed at the absolute maximum physical limit without stopping for a single second, there simply hasn't been enough time in the universe's history for it to reach billions of solar masses. The existence of these ancient monsters means our fundamental understanding of how the universe grew is broken. Did massive clouds of primordial gas bypass the star phase entirely and collapse directly into massive black hole seeds? Did dark matter interactions speed up the process? We don't know. The terrifying takeaway is that the infant universe was not a quiet, slowly developing nursery. It was a realm ruled by terrifying, impossible monsters that broke our laws of physics, reminding us that nature is far more efficient and far more violent than our theories can account for. Number 2. Invisible satellite. Galaxies. When we picture our home galaxy, the Milky Way, we imagine a majestic, solitary spiral spinning gracefully in the dark. But the Milky Way is not alone. For decades, astronomers knew of a few small companion galaxies, like the large and small Magellanic Clouds, caught in our gravitational pull. According to the leading theories of dark matter, however, a galaxy of our size shouldn't just have a couple of companions. It should be swarmed by hundreds of smaller dwarf galaxies. For a long time, we couldn't find them, leading to the missing satellites problem. Then, our telescopes got better, and the truth we discovered was far more unsettling than an empty sky. We found them, but they were almost completely dark. Astronomers began detecting ultra-faint dwarf galaxies, such as Segway 1. These are galaxies in their own right, containing perhaps only a few hundred or a few thousand stars, but bound together by a massive, overwhelming halo of dark matter. Segway 1, for instance, contains almost 1,000 times more dark matter than ordinary visible matter. These are the ghosts of the Milky Way. They orbit our galaxy right now, massive gravitational entities looming on our cosmic doorstep, pulling at the edges of our galactic disk. If our eyes were tuned to see dark matter rather than starlight, our night sky would not be a vast, open expanse. It would be crowded. We would look up and see the massive, looming shapes of dozens, perhaps hundreds of invisible galaxies swarming around us in a chaotic, unending cosmic dance. We are living in a haunted neighborhood, completely blind to the massive structures that share our immediate space, interacting with us only through the silent, invisible tug of gravity. Number 1. Dark matter halos. In the 1970s, astronomer Vera Rubin was studying the rotation curves of spiral galaxies, expecting to find that the stars at the outer edges of the galaxy moved much slower than the stars near the dense, bright center, just as Pluto orbits the Sun much slower than Mercury. Instead, she found something that broke the universe. The stars at the outer edges were moving just as fast as the ones in the center. Galaxies were spinning at such incomprehensible speeds that the centrifugal force should have torn them apart, flinging their stars out into the intergalactic void like water off a spinning tire. The only reason galaxies didn't disintegrate was that there had to be vastly more mass holding them together than what we could see. This is the dark matter halo. Every single galaxy we have ever observed is entirely encased in a massive, spherical scaffold of dark matter. This invisible structure is exponentially larger and heavier than the galaxy itself. The Milky Way's dark matter halo extends hundreds of thousands of light years, beyond the furthest stars. This is the most profound and terrifying secret of the universe. When you look at a picture of a galaxy, with its beautiful, glowing, spiral arms and billions of blazing stars, you are not looking at the galaxy. You are looking at the exhaust. You are looking at a minor, luminous byproduct of the true structure. The luminous matter, every star, every planet, every nebula, every black hole, and every single atom of normal matter accounts for roughly 15% of the galaxy's mass. The remaining 85% is the dark matter halo. Everything we know, everything we are, everything we have ever built, loved, or understood is nothing more than a thin layer of glowing frost resting on the massive, unknowable bones of the true universe. We are an afterthought of a dark, invisible machine that dictates the destiny of the cosmos without ever revealing its face.